Hey Google, mobilized. You could do something that for the Valley is very old. Introduce a device that let the hip-top services being exploited. Danger, now Microsoft, never succeeded in introducing 2G phones into a leading market like Italy, who has fully deployed HSDPA phone. But still, there is some interesting thing into the hip-top services. We tried them with our Next Team user. We did a child tracking. Believe it or not, there's not a child tracking device that is reliable today. Maybe there will be a couple by the end of this year, but still, the service itself with 5 buttons, I call my mom, I call emergency, I call my dad. Not for the children, they didn't answer to the quick answer test, but for the parents, they have a willingness to spend a lot for that type of services. For their kids who have from 5 to 9 years old, because later, believe me, they have a latest Nokia or a latest Samsung. And so this is the challenge we're facing today, a web destination where we put our coolest thing, and the pressure is tremendous. I'm not saying that the iPhone will be sold through that destination. The iPhone will be sold through the traditional destination. But maybe new application meshing up from the web to the iPhone might be on this destination.
Thank you, Francesco. Maybe, Asha, you could give a little bit more detail around some of the applications that Orange has exposed?
Okay. So actually, to start off with, most of our exposed APIs and applications are available through orangepartner.com. That's our primary website for interacting with the Web 2.0 and with the developer community, orangepartner.com. So to begin with, we have exposed a bunch of APIs ranging from traditional ones like SMS and personal information management. For example, your address book on Orange Portal is now accessible as an API through the service. We also have things such as conferencing APIs. So if you want to create a web conferencing call, then we have exposed those APIs. Another set of APIs that we have exposed would be for firms that want to contact a whole lot of people through, say, SMS-based marketing. So we have exposed some APIs for that. Now, and just recently we actually exposed location API as well. So we are at the stages of experimenting with these. Most of these APIs today are free because they are still in beta. We are still figuring out how developers would like to use them, and the kind of applications that would be built using that. So those are the first, like the set of APIs that are already operational and available today. In addition to that, we have created some Web 2.0 services which have their own separate developer platforms. So for example, Picchio.com is a photo sharing site which has its separate developer platform. We have another one which is sort of like a RSS aggregator portal called Bubbletop, which has its separate developer program. One of the challenges we are facing is to actually bring all these disparate developer programs under a common umbrella, which is why Orange Partner is being that one unifying umbrella website for us. With respect to developers themselves, a big part of Web 2.0 is about openness and programmability and becoming a platform. So in the same sense, for Orange, it's becoming more and more of a telco platform. It is important for us to be able to attract a whole lot of developers. And traditionally, Orange has done something called as an Orange Developer Camp, which actually interestingly precedes a lot of these recent bar camps and so on, which are informal gatherings of developers trying to create programs. And we used to do that about years ago, where we would invite developers to come in and basically have all the right people at one location, and we pay for pretty much everything and have people develop 36 hours code camp of developing new applications. So we've done that. So we've kind of innovating in those areas. and so those are some of the stuff which we are doing right now, and of course we are also figuring out, what the next steps should be. One of the problems which we have, of course, is that as any platform provider, our platform is only successful depending on the number of developers and application providers, who are attracted to that platform. So, and to say that, okay, telcos can expose APIs is one thing, but also we do have a challenge in actually being able to attract the right set of developers and then, the right number of developers and so on. So these are some of the issues which we are working out at the moment.
No, that's great. Thank you, Asha. Do we have any questions from the audience? Before I... Yep, please.
Yeah, you guys talk about development TI and you talked about the developers and the platform using it. From a developer perspective, what is the monetization available such that I spend my time creating a widget or an app on either of those platforms? I like the app exchange model with Salesforce.com, which is not telco related but more crypto, getting the platform as the environment for people to monetize.
Did everybody hear that okay? In summary, it's basically, as an application developer, you can expose these APIs, but where's the money? Is that fair? So let's pick on Ty. Maybe Ty, you can kick off?
Wow. Okay. Well, since I don't run a network, yeah. Well, maybe I can just give a little bit of perspective of the monetization models that we've been working with our carrier customers, maybe as one way. So I think you hit the point, is that a lot of the carriers are working through how best to expose charging capabilities and subscriber profile management capabilities, because those are the paths to monetization. So I think it goes back to what's the trusted model and what's the untrusted model. Like a lot of us have heard these terms before, right? Trusted meaning that I bring you into my environment and I'm very clear about how I work with you in a revenue share model. When we think about the Web 2.0 world, we're really thinking about the untrusted model, right? Really opening it up and providing a very finite amount of APIs to go out to the application developers. And what we're finding within Oracle is that we're working on behalf of a lot of the telcos to make sure that these application developers, which I'm assuming you are. Okay. Okay, maybe you're not. On behalf of the telcos, to make sure that these application developers understand how to orchestrate business processes, how to actually talk to the networks, how to do things like security models and policy enforcement. Because when we talk to our telco customers, that's the literate, I think what Francesco was talking about was there's a set of big Web 2.0 developers, but as soon as you start whittling down their capabilities of being able to do network, about security and policy enforcement, that big number becomes very small. So there is that finite amount. How you monetize it, I think it's probably up to these folks, right, to give a better explanation. But what we've been working through with the application developers is, are you at the level of maturity to understand how the telco monetizes? Right? Do you understand their business process? It's one thing to blend the capabilities, but can you actually extend it across the business process that means anything to them?
Yeah, I confirm it's not at all a matter of how cool is the service or how new it is. In our concern, we always have the potential upside revenues. You, who doesn't know a carrier, have to understand that a carrier is used to 50% EBITDA margin associated to his services. So at the time it was 50, it actually was better than cocaine. Now it's 40, so cocaine's doing better than